Very good morning, students. Today, let us learn a concept called DC motor. DC motor. DC means direct current. We have two types of current. Current means flow of electric charge. We divided current into two categories, DC and AC. DC means direct current. AC means alternating current. A current which doesn't change its direction and it will always have a constant value is called direct current. In an instrument called CRO, cathode ray oscilloscope, if you observe the direct current, it appears as a straight line. Whereas in the same instrument, if you observe the alternating current is having a shape like this, or a shape like this, a shape like this. A current which changes its direction alternatively with respect to time. A current which changes its direction alternatively with respect to time is called alternating current. A current which doesn't change its direction with time is called direct current. That means if you draw a graph between current and time, the current is always having a fixed value. Such a current is called direct current. Motor is a device which converts electrical energy to mechanical energy. Electrical energy to mechanical energy. Here, the conversion of electrical energy to mechanical energy is happening, but electrical energy in the form of DC, direct current, we are taking. This principle is applicable in DVD drives. In order to move the DVD disc in a circular motion, we require the support of a motor. That motor is utilizing direct current power. Even in tape recorders in the olden days, in order to move the magnetic tape, we use the DC motor support. Even in case of AC machines, the swing of the glider is by means of a DC motor. As the DC motor is rotating with some constant speed, AC glider is taking swing. Now, today, let us understand what is a DC motor, how it is constructed, how it is related to our electromagnetic induction lesson, and what is the efficiency of the DC motor. All the points we are going to discuss in this lesson. First of all, a DC motor is a device which converts direct current electrical energy to mechanical energy. This is the definition of the DC motor. Now let us understand the construction, the working principle, and the efficiency formula for DC motor step by step. All of you should follow the sentences what I am going to write on the board related to DC motor clearly. As I discussed now, an electric motor converts electrical energy into mechanical energy. Electrical energy into mechanical energy. Strictly, the mechanical energy in the form of rotational kinetic energy, that is rotational kinetic energy. This is the first point we discussed, and is based on the fact that a current carrying coil in a uniform magnetic field experiences a torque. Already we discussed the torque concept. What is the torque experienced by a current carrying coil kept in a uniform magnetic field? Based on that fact, this DC motor is working. This is the first point. Second point related to the DC motor I am going to discuss now. As the coil rotates in magnetic field, as the coil rotates in magnetic field, the flux linked with it will change and hence an EMF called back EMF is developed in the coil. The back EMF E is proportional to the angular speed of the coil omega, and opposes the impressed voltage E. So, if R is the resistance of the motor, the armature current, armature means that rotating coil, current means applied voltage minus back EMF is the net voltage by resistance, with E proportional to omega. This is the second point you should understand. So the point clearly says that whenever the coil is getting rotated in the magnetic field, some back EMF will get developed in the coil, that back EMF is opposing the impressed voltage. That means the voltage which is responsible for rotation of the coil. So the net voltage is applied voltage minus back EMF, and the current is net voltage by resistance. But here capital E is applied voltage fixed, R is the resistance fixed, but small e is the back EMF developed, which is proportional to the angular velocity of the rotation of the armature of the coil. This is the second point you should understand related to electric motor or DC motor. Now the third point, when the motor is first turned on, the coil is at rest. The coil is at rest. And so there is no back EMF. And so there is no back EMF. Next, let me go to the next point, fourth point. The startup current. The startup current can be quite large because it is limited only by the resistance of the coil. As the rotation rate increases, the back EMF increases, and hence the current reduces, Next point. If there is no load attached to the motor, the angular speed increases until the input energy just balances the frictional and resistive losses the frictional and resistive losses. At this stage, the back EMF is maximum. At this stage, the back EMF is maximum. Current is quite small. Current is quite small. Next point. All these are theoretical points. Everything is known to us. When there is no load, initially, whatever current you are supplying, it is going to increase the speed of the motor. Once the speed of the motor increases, the angular velocity is increasing, leads to the increment in back EMF. So net EMF value is going to reduce its value. Okay. All these points I am just mentioning. Keep them in notes, and any theoretical question based on this can be answered very easily. Next point. When load is applied, here no load is attached. Now, if load is applied, the angular speed decreases. The angular speed decreases, which in turn reduces the back EMF. As a result of this, the current increases. The additional power supplied by the external source supplied by the external source of EMF is converted into mechanical power of the motor. Is converted into mechanical power of the motor. If the load is too large, if the load is too large, the back EMF is reduced. The back EMF is reduced still further. The large current that results in may cause the motor to burn out. May cause the motor to burn out. So motor get damaged if the load is too large, and when the load is too large, there is no motion of coil, there is no back EMF concept. So large amount of current will pass through the coil, which generates large amount of heat, which leads to the burning of the coil of the motor. So this is the ninth point. The last point, if I want to calculate the efficiency is always defined as output by input. So efficiency of motor. So first of all, let me calculate power input, voltage into current. Applied voltage is E, applied current is I. Heat loss is always given by I square R. R is the resistance, I is the strength of current passing through the coil, R is the resistance of the coil. Mechanical power output is nothing but input power minus power loss. This is the net power output, which is nothing but back EMF developed into the current. Now, efficiency is nothing but output power by input power. Otherwise, if you want percentage of efficiency, you should multiply with 100. Output power is EI, back EMF developed into the current. Input power is capital EI into 100. II gets cancelled. So, back EMF developed by applied EMF into 100. This is the formula for calculation of percentage of efficiency. Here, all the theoretical points are describing the nature of the back EMF developed with respect to the load. When no load is present, what is the nature of back EMF developed? If moderate load is present, what is the nature of back EMF developed? If heavy load is attached to the motor, what is the back EMF developed? If you know the back EMF developed, if you know the applied voltage, the ratio of these two into 100 will give the percentage of efficiency of the motor. If efficiency is nearer to 100%, it is considered as ideal motor. But no motor is ideal. Some part of input energy is wasted in the form of heat. So you take these formulae and these theoretical points into consideration related to answer any question based on DC motor. The next concept what we are going to discuss is AC generator. In the name itself, AC means alternating current, generator means producer. Earlier, we converted electrical energy into mechanical energy. That is called motor. It is the reverse case of the motor. Here, mechanical energy is being converted as electrical energy that electrical energy is in the form of AC. That means AC generator is a device which converts mechanical energy into electrical energy. Generally, whenever you go to hydraulic dam like Srisailam Dam, Nagarjuna Sagar Dam, we are storing the water to certain height. The flow of water is obstructed by the dam and the water is stored in the form of reservoir. Once the height of the stored water is increasing, the potential energy of the water is going to increase. Once we lift the gate, the water rushes to move out of the dam with higher kinetic energy. The fast moving water is getting kinetic energy from the potential energy of the water. The potential energy of the stored water is converted as kinetic energy of the moving water. This moving water's energy is utilized in rotating the turbine. Turbine is having AC generator. That kinetic energy of the flowing water is converted as electrical energy in the form of AC. So, in hydraulic power plants, the mechanical energy of the moving water is converted as electrical energy. Even in case of wind energy, we use some very big very big fan like arrangement. With the help of wind energy, we are rotating the fans. The fan is attached to an AC generator which converts the kinetic energy of the moving wind into electrical energy. So wind vane is also an example for conversion of mechanical energy to electrical energy, which is also involving AC generator. Not only them, at our houses also we do generate AC power during power cut with the help of a generator which converts diesel energy, nothing but chemical energy, into electrical energy. These household generators are made with the tractor engines, something like that. The tractor engine, by converting the chemical energy into mechanical energy, it will rotate the shaft attached to the AC generator. AC current is getting generated. So these are the general ideas. If you see the construction of AC generator, the basic construction, it is like this. There are two poles like North Pole and South Pole. There are two poles of magnets. Suppose this is North Pole, this is the South Pole of the magnet. Between the pole pieces, we will have a rectangular coil. This rectangular coil is attached to a metal shaft. With the help of carbon brushes or rings like this. This is one slip ring. This is attached to another slip ring. And there is a metal shaft. This metal shaft helps the rectangular coil to rotate in the magnetic field. Due to rotation of this rectangular coil, alternating current gets generated. The generated alternating current is received through these wires or through these terminals. This is the basic construction of AC generator. These are called slip rings. These are called slip rings. These are called carbon brushes. This is a rectangular coil. And here is an axle. Along this axis, this axial rod which rotates the rectangular coil. The rotation of rectangular coil leads to the development of alternating current. Here if you see, the magnetic flux linked with the coil can be calculated with the help of B bar dot A bar. That is nothing but BA cos theta. Theta is the angle between B and A, magnetic field and area of the coil. Here, as the coil is rotating with angular velocity, which is defined as angular displacement by time taken. So angular displacement can be taken as omega t, then flux developed is BA cos omega t. As this flux is changing with respect to direction between magnetic field and area, you will get some EMF developed. EMF developed is given by N into d phi B by dt. This is the general formula. N is the total number of turns available on the rectangular coil. N into d by dt of BA cos omega t. So minus NBA, the derivative of cos omega t is minus omega sin omega t. So minus into minus becomes plus. The EMF developed is NBA omega sin omega t. Here NBA omega is the amplitude of the sine wave generated, nothing but maximum value of EMF generated. That is called peak value, E naught sin omega t. Here E naught is NBA omega, that is called peak EMF developed. As the EMF developed is a sinusoidal function, the current developed is EMF by resistance. So that is nothing but NBA omega by R sin omega t, which is an alternating current. Which is an alternating current. Here omega you can take as 2 pi f. F is the frequency of rotation. Omega is the angular frequency of rotation. If the coil is rotating 10 times per second, the natural frequency is 10, then angular frequency is 2 pi into 10. By knowing that rotation frequency, you will get the strength of peak EMF developed, the strength of EMF developed as a function of time. Here, if rotational frequency increases, as sine is an increasing function, even peak EMF is also a function of omega, the EMF developed value gets increases. So here EMF developed is proportional to sine of E proportional to omega clearly. N number of turns is fixed, B strength of the field is fixed, A area is fixed. So E proportional to, or peak EMF is proportional to frequency of rotation of the coil. This is the basic idea related to the AC generator, and we will have different orientations of the coil to generate the EMF. Diagrammatically, let us see them now. Let us describe the motion of the rectangular coil between the pole pieces of the magnet in different stages. Suppose this is the north pole, this is the south pole. This is the orientation of the coil in the beginning. This is the axis. Magnetic field is from north to south. This is the direction of B bar. This is the direction of B bar. And area of the coil is represented by A bar. A bar and B bar are parallel to each other. This is the first case. When B and A are parallel to each other, angle between them is 0. So cos 0 is 1. Maximum flux is linked with the coil. Next case, you can describe like this. The coil is like this. This is north, this is the south. The third case, again like first figure. This is north, this is south. Coil turn through 180 degrees. Coil turn through 180 degrees. Next case, again it is like second case. North, south, again north, south. Last case, similar to the first case. Case number 1, case number 2, case number 3, case number 4, case number 5. Here, angle between B bar and A bar, theta is 0. Here theta is 90. Here theta is 180. Theta is 270. Theta is 360. So I have taken the complete rotation of a coil in different phases. So the corresponding EMF developed is given like this. The EMF developed may have shape like this. At once it is 90, you will get maximum. -270, negative side maximum. It is like this. The EMF developed is given by NBA omega sin omega t. Omega t is nothing but theta. Sin 0 is 0. So no EMF. Sin 90 is 1 maximum. Sin 180 is 0. Sin 270 minus 1. Sin 360 0. So the EMF developed versus time. The graph is like this. The induced EMF developed, and so this is 1/4 of the time, half of the time, 3/4 of the time, one time period. So with respect to time, the EMF developed may take different values. So the shape of the developed current is like this, or developed EMF is like this. So you should describe the construction and working of the generator in this way. The generator majorly consists of the armature. Armature is nothing but the rectangular coil, what we discussed. Slip rings, brushes, and strong pole pieces of an electromagnet, as shown in figure. So in this way, AC generator works to generate the alternating current the mechanical energy is being converted as electrical energy as shown in the figure. All of you go through the content in the textbook. Based on the content, you should write the answer related to the given question. These are the orientations of the coil. Depending on the orientations of the coil, the EMF developed is having a shape like this. I hope I reached you to describe the AC generator. Thank you. Let us see one problem. Current in a circuit falls from 5 amperes to 0 ampere in 0.1 seconds. If an average EMF of 200 volts is induced, give an estimate of self-inductance of the circuit. Give an estimate of self-inductance of circuit. Now let us see the solution. As per the given question, the current is going to change its value. Change in current. Change in current is given by di. 5 minus 0. Initial current is 5, final current is 0. That is 5 amperes. This change taken place in the time interval dt is equal to 0.1 seconds. Average EMF developed is given by 200 volts. You know that what is the self-inductance? E is equal to minus L into di by dt. Then L is equal to, minus indicates the direction, only you take magnitude into consideration, di by dt. That is nothing but E dt by di. 200 into time interval 0.1 by change in current 5 amperes. So it will go for 4 Henry. 4 Henry is the answer for the question. Very simple question based on self-inductance. Similarly, let me explain one problem based on mutual inductance. Question says, a pair of adjacent coils has mutual inductance of 1.5 Henry. If the current in the coil changes from 0 the current in the coil changes from 0 to 20 amperes in 0.5 seconds. What is the change of flux? What is the change of flux linkage? What is the change of flux linkage with the other coil? The other coil. This is the question. Solution is very simple. You are given coefficient of mutual inductance as 1.5 Henry. The change in current, they gave it as 0 to 20, that is 20 amperes. The time interval, they gave it as 0.5 seconds. What is the change in flux associated? Is the question. You know that phi is equal to mi, or d phi by dt is equal to m into di by dt. So d phi by dt is nothing but EMF developed, but we doesn't require that. dt gets cancelled. D phi is equal to m di, you can write. M is 1.5. Change in current is 20. Time is getting cancelled, so you need not to worry. So answer is 30 Webers. Magnetic flux is measured in Webers. Is the change in magnetic flux associated or flux linked from one coil to another coil? Very simple solution it is. All of you read the concept, learn the formula, try to solve the application. Thank you. Thank you one and all.